Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. If you missed our PlayPosit exchange this summer, we're rerunning a great session for you from CSU Channel Islands Jessica Muth. Jessica Muth serves as the Director of Career Success Initiatives and is the acting academic program director for the MBA program at CSU Channel Islands Martin V. Smith School of Business and Economics. With over a decade of experience in higher education and career development, she focuses on improving educational and career outcomes for students. Jessica is a national certified counselor and global career development facilitator. And she is particularly interested in using digital technology to enhance communication and student engagement. In this session, she's going to focus on an interactive course tour video designed to enhance student understanding and engagement in an asynchronous career readiness course using PlayPosit. Jessica Muth uses a course tour video as a high-impact tool to help students navigate their educational and career journey more effectively. Embedded questions that pause the video ensure student familiarity with course structure, career resources, and expectations. Now, educators can reduce the frequency of "it's in the syllabus" responses and promote a proactive learning environment. We hope Jessica's experience can support you in your upcoming courses. So without further ado, here we go.
My class, the goal was for it to serve as kind of this low stakes, high impact tool that helps students navigate the Canvas course and then really get oriented with the class and help promote their educational and career journey in the course. So just a little bit about Channel Islands. It is the youngest of the CSUs, the California State University system, with a mission of placing students at the center of the educational experience. We have undergraduate and graduate populations, and our mission is to facilitate learning across all disciplines with integrated approaches, emphasizing experiential service learning and graduate students with this multicultural and international perspective. We're hovering around 6,000 students, growing 25,000 alumni. We are a Hispanic serving institution with 61% of our students being first generation students, so first in their families to go to college, and 54% of our students are Pell eligible. Now, with CSU Channel Islands, we have a wonderful teaching and learning innovations team that I was introduced to a few years ago when I really started teaching. And when I was making Canvas courses, that's our platform. And I just saw that there was so much they could do. There's so many things you can do. You could spend hours and hours kind of creating a beautiful Canvas course. So first, I just wanted to say that we have a teaching and learning innovation department, and they are the ones that really guided me and just in trying PlayPosit and trying new things in the Canvas course. So our team, they really steward technology and pedagogy. They have one-on-one appointments with faculty, focusing on how to do the online blended teaching. They have on-demand support. And then specifically, I worked with one of our learning designers, Georgia, who you'll be hearing from later, to create the PlayPosit. And please feel free to ask me any questions at any time. You can pop them in the chat. So my course, I teach in the business school. I teach a career readiness course. It is a 1-credit required course, and this is brand new. So I was tasked with creating this brand new required class in all different modalities. There's a face-to-face modality, there is a online modality, and there is an asynchronous online modality that is 8 weeks. So I will be talking about that 8-week class. Again, it's completely online asynchronous, and it is for our extended university population, which means that they are never coming to campus. They are coming from a variety of backgrounds, especially when it comes to career preparation. Some of them are seasoned in their roles, and others are just starting to make a LinkedIn profile. So the course really was designed to prepare for the transition from college to career, identify job interests, qualifications, create resumes, cover letters, resources, and trying to do that in 8 weeks. So when I was looking at the course, I put it into 8 modules. I felt really confident about the way the Canvas course was laid out, but I was finding that teaching online, especially in an asynchronous environment, does have a few challenges. And I wanted to start with the syllabi and just orienting the students to what were the expectations of the course, and then also how can they navigate this site. So a couple of the challenges for the syllabi. One, I really wanted it to be clear, comprehensive, because of the asynchronous nature of the course. And again, that students are coming from all different backgrounds and experiences. And this was a brand new course. So I didn't want them to just log on and say, what is this 1 credit course? I'm fine. I already have my career. Why do I need to take this? Or what is this 1 credit course? How am I supposed to do this in 8 weeks? And then also the syllabus, I wanted it to show kind of the depth of the content. Some of my assignments had a few different options depending on where a student was in their career. So I really wanted to explain that so they didn't feel overwhelmed and they felt like they could meet the learning objectives of the course. Truly, the course is a pass-fail course. It would take a lot for the students to not pass the course. However, you get out as much as you put in. So I really wanted them to be able to get a feel and get excited for some of the things they would be able to learn in the class that maybe had been on the back burner. Because sometimes when we think of career success and we think about postgraduate where students are going after college, it can be an afterthought because they are trying so hard to get through their classes. Okay, and then also the syllabus, I wanted it to be flexible, like I mentioned, meet the needs of the various student populations. So I met with our learning design team. I met with Georgia, and she had the idea of a PlayPosit course tour, and I really liked that. So I can share all these links if you'd like. This is just a link to some of the modules in my course. I made it on the Canvas Commons page if you are curious to look at it. And then I'll also have a link to the PlayPosit. But I went ahead and just started recording is what I did. I went on Zoom and I started recording. I shared screen. You can kind of see my face in the corner. I kind of winged it because I wanted it to feel natural. And sometimes if I do things multiple times, like I just overthink it. So this is a screenshot here. I really just shared the Canvas page that was created, and I asked a variety of questions that I'll show throughout the video. But this is just a screen grab here of I was kind of showing one of my modules, and one of the questions that I paused, I said, please review the 8 modules and which module has the mock interview assignment. So students needed to go through the modules. My goal was to kind of get them excited or interested or kind of think of how to plan out their time in the next 8 weeks and also kind of think, ooh, what is a mock interview? Why is that important? So that's an example of one of the questions for the PlayPosit. Here is another screen grab. What I really liked about using PlayPosit is just when I was recording that video, like I said, I was just kind of naturally flowing through the Canvas course. And then I went back into the PlayPosit and added these pauses. So this would be a screen grab of when I was getting to the section that showed the syllabus. What I liked is I made this syllabus on a Google Doc because sometimes it changes a little bit. So I made it on a Google Doc, and the PlayPosit let it just like go to that screen, if that makes any sense. So I had here the syllabus, which was on the Canvas page, and then the PlayPosit allowed them to like open it in a new window. So I liked that feature too. So you can see on the left, I only asked a few questions. My video was 6 minutes long. I first did the welcome to the Canvas course. I had them review 8 modules and just multiple choice, click a question. I had them pop out to the Google Doc that was the syllabus. I also highlighted another assignment, which was a career assessment, which would have also been a site that they needed to navigate to. So I wanted to make sure they were familiar clicking on that. And then the last question, I just had like a fun question about Fortune 500 companies and their hiring, which kind of like made them start thinking up careers. And then what is also pretty neat about the bulb analytics here is that you're able to grab the student progress. So for my course, there were how many students? About 30 students. So you can go in and you can see as much information as you want. When a student started, when they paused, how they answered the question, what they said. There are just so many options. And then the bulb analytics is great because it, if you make it as an assignment, it essentially grades it for you. So that also eliminates some time on the back end too. A couple things. Well, I'll just pause for a second. Are there any questions so far? You are welcome to put them in the chat. I know I get excited and I talk quickly. Okay. I think when I did this, when I used this learning tool, like I said, I kind of just recorded it once and hoped it would work out, and then went in and kind of like added different questions to it. I think that this slide is me kind of thinking about next steps and some things that I would do differently. So in when it comes to like getting more students engaged and having it be more accessible, I really thought of 3 things that I would definitely change in the future. So one, I already have what another thing that our TLI team encouraged, or it's something that you could try. I had a learner info survey. So that I made on Canvas. It's set up as it's set up for 5 points. The reason I did that, this learner info survey, is I found when I taught the course last year that I was not aware of the students in this class as much as I was my in-person classes or even my synchronous online class. I was watching their videos and grading their assignments, but there was 30 of them and I couldn't get a feel for like where the students were in their career journey. So I added a learner survey, which had these different areas that students could answer about themselves, which really was like, are you a mid-level professional? Would you say that you're entry level? What are you hoping to get out of this class? What are ways that I can support you? For example, last semester, I had a student who was getting their bachelor's degree. They had already had a long history, a long career in professional baseball. I had a student who was already a vice president at a bank. And then I also had a student who had worked 4 years at Home Depot as a cashier and was hoping to move into accounting. So try making one class in 8 weeks that kind of is beneficial to everyone was a bit of a challenge. So anyways, I had this learner survey that I wanted to see where each student was at, and that was with 5 points. So when I made this PlayPosit video that was this course tour, I didn't make it worth any points because I did it kind of right before I was launching the class, and I kind of had to do a bit of a workaround and I made it 0 points. So in making it 0 points, you'll see in my data that you'll see that students did it, but they didn't have much motivation to do it. So that is definitely something I would change in the future. In the future, I can see that I could absolutely recreate the PlayPosit video and still make it a course tour. But what I would do is I would use the questions I asked from that learner survey and I would integrate it in the video. And then I would definitely make the PlayPosit worth at least 5 points. And it could kind of serve as this like meet your professor course tour. It's in the syllabus. And then also like tell me a little bit more about yourself. So that's my goal for the fall, that I will recreate it. And then I think I would also, then I don't have to toggle between the data from the learner survey and the data from this PlayPosit. Okay, so that's the number one thing I'm doing. The next thing is surrounding improving video quality through maybe a rough script. So I do think I need to develop a bit of a script for a little bit more polished video. I want to appear natural, but in creating the video, I did notice that I had several ums. And I think if I had even just a rough script, that I would have, maybe I would have been able to get a better video recording, especially if I was making it an assignment. I would want it to be a little bit more polished and like kind of the way I was speaking. And then it happens. The third thing is ensuring accessibility with subtitles. So I'm not new to recording on Zoom. And then, I'm sorry, I recorded on Zoom and then I posted it to YouTube as like an unlisted video. And then that's how I put it in the PlayPosit. I should have explained that. So I'm not new to that, but for some reason I couldn't find the button in the right way that allowed me to add subtitles. So I was kind of, like I said, rushing to add it to Business 411 because I had a meeting with Georgia from TLI and I was excited to just get it in there. And I couldn't figure out how to add the subtitles on YouTube prior to creating the PlayPosit. Fortunately, TLI went back in and helped me add the subtitles. But I want to eliminate any of that work. And in the future, I'll make sure to record it and add the subtitles for accessibility. I don't want to have any videos on the Canvas course that don't have subtitles. So those are my top 3 things that I will be doing a little bit differently. I also have on here, I think what I also really like about our TLI team is that they have blogs, they have different highlights for faculty members to be able to try some of these new digital learning strategies in their class. So I was written up in one of these 3 digital strategies to orient students to your course. So I went ahead and hyperlinked that here. I can go ahead and put it in the chat too. Maybe I'll mess with that in a second. I also linked to the course tour video that I did. And then our university has different how-to guides on how to kind of pull some of these digital learning tools into your class. I think for faculty members, what I'm learning, my role is a little different. I'm a full-time lecturer, so I'm not really doing research. I'm also serving as the director of career success and meeting with students one-on-one. But the more time that I'm spending in our academic department and talking to other faculty is really just getting these resources in front of faculty, being able to see the challenges, the benefits, the way students are interacting with the tool. That makes a faculty member more willing to carve out time to create something like this. I don't know if that's helpful, but in my conversations with faculty, sometimes it's a sprint to even get the syllabus ready and to get your slides ready. And different faculty have different familiarity with their with Canvas or Blackboard. So that would be something I really like, just being aware. I liked being introduced to PlayPosit. I was a little nervous at first to use it, clicking the bulbs. How do I like, is this worth it, kind of? And now I'm glad I was encouraged to use it, because I do think it's really helpful for students, especially in an asynchronous modality where they're not seeing me, they're not interacting with me, I'm not doing anything live. I have a few recorded videos, but the course is supposed to be just 8 weeks that they can do at their own pace. I'm really interested too in now creating more PlayPosits for the class. you really could just get so creative with what you could do. I'm thinking through, and I hope to learn more about how to incorporate them in a face-to-face class, which for me, the face-to-face class kind of has like a flipped classroom model, and students have their resources and they have a really good idea of what we'll be working on in class. And then in class, we are just like workshopping and discussion and practicing interviews and looking at their resumes. So I'm curious to think through ways to use it in a face-to-face course. Also in the online synchronous course that I teach, that's like students logging in 1 hour a week. I'd like to play with the monitor feature and see how I can use it. I would love to figure out how to use it for some different employers. I bring a employer industry panel to the class. I bring alumni in talking about their careers. Some of those alumni or employers, it's hard to get them live. I could see it being really cool to have them record a video, or record a panel and then have questions in it too. So again, I really like that it can be as an assignment, and I absolutely am going to do that next time. And I hope to learn more. I am very open to answering any questions here that you may have. This is a picture of our beautiful campus. Come visit sometime if you have a chance. We are in Camarillo, California. So yeah, I thought I'd throw that picture because I love the mountains. I'm from the Midwest, so I still am smitten by the sunshine and the mountains. And when I was introduced, I really liked the way you said Baylor University, because that's exactly how they say it in the South. You had the exact accent for it. But thank you so much, and I'm open to any questions. Can we have a link to your video? Yes, absolutely. Here it is. And I welcome any feedback, because like I said, there was 3 things I'd really like to change in the next one that I do.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us today. And you also were spot on. I am from South Carolina. I'm located in Charleston, South Carolina. So, and coincidentally, Baylor University is also one of our customers. And
there we go.
And I support them. So I am really excited to kind of facilitate a few questions that we have here. So thank you so much for your session. I really appreciated you talking about a couple of key things. The flexibility that you found with PlayPosit being able to meet a variety of different learner needs. I also loved hearing about the really diverse professional backgrounds of your student populations. I think that is something that we could definitely have an entire webinar about, is just in higher education, how do we leverage the power of PlayPosit to provide a kind of curated learning experience to students that need more time, less time, different needs. And I also appreciate you reflecting on where you would like to go with the tool. So like new things that you'd like to learn, new features, functionalities that you want to use for potential use cases and assignments that you've brainstormed. It sounds like maybe learner-made bulbs could be something that you could look into if you're wanting your learners to ultimately have the opportunity to create a bulb of their own and send that back to you. So learner-made bulbs might be an assignment type that you might check out with your customer success manager. But thank you so much. We did have one question from earlier. How long do you make your lectures? So that might be a question that would be good to answer for Patrick.
Yeah. My course is 50 minutes because it's a 1 credit class. So in person, it's a variety, but that's the class time. For this specific 8-week, 8-module, I did not really do lectures at all. I really just completely beefed up the Canvas course, and I had it set up as like read, watch, assignment. Like each one I tried to make really clear of like exactly what they needed to do in it. And I just gave a ton of content. I think there was maybe 2 of the modules where I popped on and just did a quick like slide video. Hi, here's some extra information. Yes, so that would be my answer. This video that I recorded was 6 minutes. And when I look at the interaction, the students watched it. I guess I didn't get feedback of if that was a good amount of time for them, but I figure if they're not interacting with me that much, then 6 minutes at the beginning of the class is seems pretty good. So I hope that answers your question for the asynchronous. I don't do any, lectures. And then for my online synchronous class, I do like a 50-minute lecture.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I've heard you talk a lot about leaning on the monitor page and relying on student data to kind of tell a story about your instructional practices and like where you're being effective. Can you talk a little bit about like the use of the monitor page? Like what have you, maybe a tip or a trick if someone hasn't actually explored the monitor page before? Is there a feature or a piece of the monitor page that's your favorite?
For like the analytics?
Yeah, like the analytics. Yeah, for sure. Or that's most informative to your instructional practices.
Yeah. Well, even on Canvas period, I like to see how much students are doing. Like I like to see how long they stayed on it. Like, the amount of time that they spent on the video. I also like the option for the PlayPosit. I think I will do it for the next session is where they can type in. I really like just having it in an Excel document. I can like quickly see their responses. I like looking at trends from the report too. I'm always trying to get a handle on just the different learners and their needs. That will be I'm always going to try to figure out how to make the class helpful to those who are like really at the beginning of their career journey and those who really could almost teach the class. I don't know, they can contribute. So I like to just look at the full scope of the students and then kind of try to see some trends, I guess. Like, oh, everybody wants to learn about resumes, or, actually no one answered this question right about the hiring trends. So yeah, I guess that's what I liked.
Wonderful. Yeah, I asked that because I think that a lot of instructors that use PlayPosit don't find the monitor page until later in their PlayPosit journey. And it can actually be something that you can make work for you as an instructor to understand where you need to like spend more time or where you need to review, or even like questions that your students were high performing on, and you can actually like expedite that content or moving past that content. So the monitor page is one of my favorite features. Like the analytics and the data that lives behind the bulb is something that I, as an instructor, benefited from before I became a customer success manager here. So I really appreciate you speaking to that a little bit, and just generally being here today. So thank you so much